In this video, I'm going to break down the secrets you need to know to have a dominant run offense in Madden 25. After watching this video, your run offense will be improved dramatically, and you're going to be able to easily run the ball all over any defense you see. Let's get it. YouTube, what is up? It is your boy Duke, back here from sportsgamers.com, and in today's video I'm going to break down the top 5 tips you need to know to have a better run offense. Now, these tips are going to be things you can apply to any playbook, lots of different formations, so no matter what type of player you are, what mode you play, what playbook you use, this is going to help you out a lot. Now guys, if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop me a like, comment on the video, and make sure you stay tuned throughout this entire video, because I promise you guys, as the video goes on, the tips are only going to get better and better, which leads me to the first tip. Tip number 1, make sure you run the ball according to your quarterback's dominant hand. Now guys, this basically means if your quarterback is right-handed, you're going to find more success running to the left, because the handoff animation is going to be quicker, which is not going to allow the defense to fly in the backfield and shed as easily. Basically, this is more noticeable in shotgun, because in shotgun, the quarterback and running back line up next to each other. So let me show you guys a few examples. You're going to see that because I'm right-handed, if I hand the ball off running to the left, the handoff animation is pretty quick, and I'm able to get upfield and get good yardage. Now, you're going to notice with Bo Nix, he's right-handed. If I try to run to the right, the handoff is to the left. So again, you're going to notice that this handoff is just a bit slower, and you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. With the slow handoff animation, that guy's able to shoot into the backfield because the handoff was just a smidge slower, and this is the difference between a 5 to 10 yard run and nothing. Again, look at this handoff and look at how fast this guy's in the backfield. I stumbled into my O-lineman and I get nothing. This leads me to tip number 2, which is know your run fits, guys. All the different defenses in this game have different run fits, and you're going to see this whether the defense in cover 4, cover 2, cover 3, or man. Each defense has different run fits, and you need to know these run fits in order to know which runs will work against each defense. So let's just start at cover 4. Now, if you guys don't know how to look at run fits, it's pretty easy. When you're on defense, you can pull up your play art, basically by hitting both. You hold down both triggers, and once you hold down both triggers, this is cover 4, if you hit up on the right analog stick, you can see your play art. But if you want to see the actual run fits, you're going to hold down both triggers, and then you're going to hit either the square or the circle button. That's for PlayStation. Xbox, it would just be the equivalent. But basically, square, you're going to see the run fits if you run the ball to the left. Circle, you're going to see the run fits if you run the ball to the right. Now, cover 4 is typically a pretty good run defense, because as you guys could see, everybody's in a run fit but the outside corners. Both of the safeties are in run fits, which means that basically at the snap, if I just run the ball, like run the ball right here, you're going to see that the safety's first step is down. And what that essentially means is they're in the fit. Now, that time I ran a stretch, and you guys can see, because this is an outside run, and the only 2 players not in the run fit in cover 4 were the outside corners, this was a pretty successful run. Now, you can see how this differs in cover 2. In cover 2, if you look at the run fits, you're going to see that basically the safeties are no longer in the run fit, but the outside corners are. If I run the ball right here, both outside corners are. If I run the ball to the left, only really the outside left corner is. So what this tells you is, you know, in cover 2, we're more so weak for inside runs. So like if I was just to run the ball like a blast or a dive, that's going to be a lot more effective than trying to run the outside. Most of the time against a cover 2, there are some exceptions. Now, cover 3, in my opinion, is probably the worst run defense in the game, because it has, in my opinion, the worst run fits. If you look at the run fits in cover 3, you'll see that really only one of the safeties is in a run fit, but neither of the outside corners are. So you have one less defender most of the time in a run fit when you're in cover 3. And this just translates a lot to just really just being able to run all over cover 3 pretty easily, as you guys can see. By far, the worst run defense we've seen so far. Now, man coverage is a bit different, and cover 0 is probably the best form of run defense if you're in man. Because when you're in cover 0, you're going to see that the safeties, they are generally going to be in run fits. Now, this time it's only saying the one on the right is, but generally both safeties will be in run fits when you're in cover 0 because they're manned up. Now, there are different ways to take advantage of cover 0, which we'll get into in a second here. But in general, it's a pretty good run defense, as you can see. But there are a few tricks you can use to beat it. Which then leads me to tip number 3, which is do not abuse turbo when running the ball. You guys can see if I'm holding turbo from the start, I'm not even giving my blocks a chance to do anything. Basically, I'm just running straight into the defense. That's not what you want to do. It is much better to only use turbo or sprint when you're in the open field. When you get the handoff, do not smash down turbo. Wait until you're in the open field. This brings me to tip number 4, which is calling the correct runs in the correct situation. If you're looking to become a better Madden 25 player and win more games, check out sportsgamers.com. This is where I post all my premium content. You get all my offensive and defensive schemes, ebooks, weekly tips, blitzes, money plays, bombs, and more. I have all the best content available at the cheapest prices available anywhere. Sign up today for as little as $9.95. Click the link in the description. I also pinned it in the comments. Let's win more games and dominate together, boys. You always need to know which run to run according to the defense being called, which gets back to the run fit tip I was talking about earlier. So, if you notice here that the defense is in cover 2, they're playing cover 2, like I typically would not run a ton of outside runs. I would more so focus on running right up the middle because, the safeties aren't in the run fits. Now, I know I was talking about cover 0 earlier and how good of a run defense it is, but there's actually really easy ways to attack and confuse this defense. So, if you're going up against somebody who loves cover 0, what you want to do is find a play that has your receivers in runoffs. And how you know if your receiver is a runoff is you simply hit the right trigger and bring up your play art by flicking up on the right analog stick. If you see your receivers having gray vertical lines about 10 yards downfield, just as I do in this play, that is known as a runoff. And what's going to happen is the guys manned up to those players are going to run their defenders off the ball, and the defenders aren't even going to play the run. Now, this brings me to one of my favorite runs in the game, which is this tight single back formation. It's basically a stretch wide zone. Now, because on this run, I have 2 runoffs to the left, I'm simply going to flick the right analog stick to the left to run it to the left, and you're going to see that these DBs, they get blocked until you're a good 10-ish yards downfield. You'll notice the safety, he never even got involved in the play. Stretch runs in general are also super effective against cover 4, because remember, in cover 4, the safety's first step is down. So if their first step is down, you're going to be easily able to get to the outside the most of the time for big plays. This leads me to my final tip, which is the use of your blocking adjustments pre-play, specifically the double team feature. Now, what you're going to notice when you're running the ball against a lot of these meta defenses, like people are loving the dime 1-4 right now, basically a lot of 3-down lineman formations. A lot of people are going to have a good D tackle to stop the run. They might even have an inside stuff on him. So this D tackle is the most important player to account for when running the ball against a lot of meta defenses. Now, if I just leave him one-on-one, he might be able to make a play, especially if he has an ability. But if I pull up my double team menu by hitting the L1 or LB and then down on the right analog stick to where the D2 is above the D tackle, then I'm going to hit select. You're going to notice once you double team the D tackle, have the D2 over his head, he's going to get taken out of the play. You're going to be able to consistently get good yardage.